Hey, what's up, MFers? Today we're going to go over a easy but detailed step-by-step video to help you guys swap over your new custom manifolds onto an existing Morphlate kit. There are some tools that you're going to need to get this done. So you need a 9/16 or a 14 millimeter open-end wrench, a 19 millimeter open-end wrench, an adjustable wrench, and some plumbers or Teflon tape. All right, let's get into it. First, we need to disconnect the hoses from the manifold. Run your arm through half of the coiled up hoses and hold on to the manifold and use your 9/16 wrench or your 14 millimeter to loosen it up from the manifold. We recommend you holding onto the manifold and slide valve in this fashion so you're not putting pressure by holding onto the gauge, which is plastic and it could break. Next, we need to remove the digital gauge and the slide valve. Take your 19 millimeter wrench while holding onto the gauge and remove the manifold just like so. It shouldn't take much pressure to separate the two. Now take that same 19 millimeter wrench, hold on to the manifold, and remove the slide valve. Just like that. Before we assemble everything back onto your new custom laser etch manifold, we need to tape all of the fittings that thread into the manifold. Your slide valve, the two hose barbs, and your digital gauge. Take the Teflon tape and throw on the tape in a clockwise direction. And you're only going to need 4 to 5 wraps. And this should be sufficient to prevent any leaks. Okay, now we can start assembling the manifold together. Start with the slide valve threading into the bottom of the manifold. It should only have one port. Hold on to the manifold, take the 19 millimeter wrench, and tighten down the slide valve. Good and tight. You shouldn't need to over tighten this thing, just make sure it's snugged up nicely. And then we can do the same thing with the digital gauge. Hold on to the manifold and hand tighten the plastic gauge in. And use the 19 millimeter wrench while holding onto the gauge to snug up the manifold. Do not over tighten this. The gauge is a plastic housing and it can break. Go ahead and take 1/2 of your hose kit and run your arm through it. Take your manifold assembly and just hand thread it onto that hose barb. Take the other half of your hose kit and do the same thing. You can let this half dangle there while you tighten it down with a 9/16 inch wrench. This is the best way to do it, so while you're tightening it down, the hose does not get coiled and tangled up. Just like the slide valve, tighten it down nice and snug. It does not need to be over tightened. Once you tighten the first half down, flip it around and tighten the other side. All right, once you're all done, everything should be looking just like this. If you guys have any other questions, comments, or feedback, please reach out to us, either Instagram, email, or phone call or text message, and we will be here for you guys. Thanks for watching.